Hey guys, what is up? It's Andy here, back at you with another video, and today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about 3PL. So firstly, what is 3PL and does it work? 3PL stands for third-party logistics, and yes, it does work. What you do is you essentially take all of your internal logistics systems, you take it and you give it to another company to fulfill your orders. And that means packing parcels, bubble wrap protection, all of that is all going to get done by another company. And you just have a sort of integration API connection that will manage the stock. And you basically never see your stock again. Sounds a little bit scary, and I was scared at first, but it is actually working out really well, and I wanted to share a little bit about the pros and cons of it with you guys. So let's jump right in and start with what company I'm using. As you can see here on the screen, I'm using Haul in Store. Unfortunately, this is a UK-based business for a lot of the guys that watch in South Africa, but the principles remain the same. So getting started with third-party logistics, there's a couple of things that you do need to realize. Not all products are going to work well for third-party logistics. Generally, these companies, when you apply, they will actually vet your products and say whether you can work with them or not, and don't be surprised if a couple of them turn you down. I got turned down by a few just because they thought either the order volume wasn't good for them, or the type of product wasn't good for them, or just their specialties. Some companies will do big products. Some companies will do small products as their specialties. And it just depends how they've structured their systems and their pricing models and their type of clients that they've got already, and how you're going to fit in with those clients and their systems. So ideally, they're going to go for high value, low weight, which is sort of most of the e-commerce stuff that I do. It means that you've got to have small products that take up very little storage, but you can actually get a good margin on them, and they're valuable. What I wouldn't do is say pillows, for instance, which are not very expensive and they take up a lot of space. That means you're going to be paying higher storage fees, higher packaging fees, and it's not really going to add up in the end to a good system. So pick your product well if you want to do third-party logistics. Another thing is do your finance as well. You have a lot of fees. I'll jump into this precise fees actually in a bit, but you have a lot of fees. You have picking, you have postage, you have packaging, you have storage. All of those fees get intertangled into your order, into each specific order, and even the amount of items in that order. Sometimes there's just a bunch of different fees that you need to take account of, and it's very easy to too late realize that you have overspent, and it's just not working out anymore. And you don't want to get 3 months, 4 months down the line and be like, oops, it's not working out. So do your numbers, get a little Excel spreadsheet, ask them exactly. Don't be afraid. Most of them will sit down on a Zoom call with you, and you can say, okay, if I get an order like this is what most of my orders look like. Just run through the costing with me on it, and most of them will oblige. Another thing is barcodes. Barcodes, if you're not barcoding your stuff, it's very difficult to get into initially. It's not that hard once you do get into it, but it is a little bit of a problem if you're not doing it already and your products already maybe are running. But if you're starting something fresh, it's fine. Start fresh, but make sure you source products that are barcoded. If you're doing gray imports from like the Chinese imports, you're probably not getting barcoded stuff all the time. You do have to then ask them, is it barcoded, and ask them, is it a unique barcode? And a lot of those sort of questions are going to come up. Is each item packaged individually, or is it coming in bulk? You're going to have to find out those things before you do it. So a lot of the guys want to do like a drop shipping or a 3PL on that sort of method. It's maybe not the best idea. So high value, low weight. Do your finances, make sure that your product is barcoded. Those are some of the main things that you need to look at before you get into it. But if you do all of those things, it is a really nice system, because the pros of it are you don't have to buy packaging, you don't have to buy bubble wrap, you don't have to pay for people to package your stuff, you don't have to worry about security controls. You do have to worry about security, but security controls like camera systems, all of those things are handled by a company that's doing thousands of orders a day, and they're buying boxes in bulk, they're buying packaging in bulk, they're buying everything in bulk that most small startup e-commerce stores can't buy in bulk. sometimes, for instance, when I buy boxes, it's like 10 at a time, and like 10 big boxes at a time, whereas these 3PL guys are buying 10,000 at a time at a third of the price, and all of those savings actually get passed on to the store. They take their cut, they take their fees, but it also gets passed on to the store at the end of the day. And I feel safe knowing that they are experts at it. Same as externalizing accounting, externalizing CFO reports. Those people are generally good at what they do. And there's a reason why the small businesses and the gig economy is so good at the moment, because those things really do work. Anyway, I digress. Let's look at the fees. If I bring it up and have a look over here. So for instance, I'm just going to scan over it. There are fees, it's all in pounds. And for instance, a weekly, okay, that's per pallet. So 0.5 cents per pick bay, that's sort of a small like bin per SKU. So you have a per SKU per item per bin fee. If you have your goods in, that means every box you get, there's a flat fee plus 50 cents per additional box. So if you have 3 boxes, it'll be £5 plus 50 cents per box. They have fees for if you're landing like pallets of stuff, they can handle it, whether it's imported, whether it's containers with pallets, whether it's containers with cartons. It looks like they can handle all of those things, which is important for some people, not important for me. I'm not at that level yet. Order handling fee. So this is generally your per order fee, 60 cents plus 30 cents per item. And I know they do have a limit on this 30 cents. So I think if it's like 4 or 5 items, then they stop charging you after that point, which is really, really nice. Packaging fee, I don't actually pay a packaging fee because it's just standard, nothing fancy packaging. It's the standard basic stuff. And it's very small items, so it's probably like a little small brown box like this. Then you've got your postage fees. I use the just UK Post, £3.95 per order. Up to none of my parcels are generally ever over 2 kilos, and I think if it is, it's only a little bit more than that. And I pass this cost on to the customers, so I just put it on as an extra. So I charge shipping. It's not like a free shipping option. Returns, that's one thing I'll get into in a bit, but that is per order for a return. Sometimes it's not even worth doing the returns. And then the downside was, of course, there was a big setup fee. I know a lot of the other companies don't charge a setup fee, and I think this is to deter people who aren't serious about it, because it is a lot of work onboarding someone into a 3PL system. You're taking a business owner and you're teaching them how your system works, how their system works, and you're really trying to get it going. So I think this is just more like a commitment fee. And of course, you also have a monthly management fee in this case, which is relatively high. And I'm not saying that there's not cheaper ones out there. I think there probably are, but the service in this particular case is very good, and I'm still managing to make a profit on it. So I'm quite happy about that. So anyway, let's just jump back to having a look at the site. They do have all the integrations, by the way. I'm sure you guys will check those. Right, so returns is one thing that I did want to mention. It's a little bit tricky when you get a return and you can't actually hold it and inspect it. They do have things like sending photos, and it's got this backend platform, which I'll show you guys in a second. So comes in, they take photos, they say it's broken, it's damaged. You can ask them to dispose, you can ask them to book it back into stock, and you just choose what you want to do with each order. Let's have a look at the backend system. For instance, over here, there's an order that's come in that's going to get picked and packed on Monday to Friday at, I think, 5 a.m. and then 3 p.m. twice daily. So all of your orders add up to there, and then they pick it and pack it. So as you can see, it's not there's not heaps of orders at the moment, and it is Saturday. So you don't need to be doing lots of orders to make this system profitable, and you don't even need to be you don't need to be there. You don't even need to be in the country to be doing this. So like, I'm not actually in the country that the system's operating in. The business is registered there, and I'm registered to the business, but it doesn't mean you're not tied down. So a lot of small business owners are getting tied down by doing their own packing and distribution and things like that, which does hinder a lot of the things that you might want to do. Even if you need to go to a meeting now, you've got to actually do your orders in the morning and then head out to your meeting. So think about 3PL as a good option. And there's more and more options, more and more people in the 3PL business. Prices are coming down. It really is. I struggle to see how it's going to be part of like in doing your own packaging and shipping. I don't think it's going to be very mainstream in the future, only for like the really big companies. Anyway, so orders come in. You have all these things along the side. You have products. You can have different sort of warehouses. You can check your orders. You can check your returns. You can see your accounting, your bills and finances, and you can see all of your reports, which is really, really nice. So overall, I mean, they do use this backend system. I think it's called MintSoft, and it is something you can actually buy and start your own 3PL system with, which is quite cool. If there isn't a 3PL system in your place, maybe start one. But yeah, I'm enjoying using this system. I think it's a really nice model for someone getting going. I think there are a lot of places that won't charge a onboarding fee, like the guys in the US that I'm looking at now. No onboarding fee, no monthly management fee, just a storage fee, a slightly higher storage fee, but that's it. No, there's very little cost to getting involved, started with this. Also, last thing I want to touch on is the integration. It connects with Shopify. So I'm using Shopify, Hollister, Amazon, eBay as the main channels. They do have Etsy as well, but that's on the way out. It's going to go from Shopify, sends a notice to Hollister. Then the order gets picked and packed, sent, and the tracking number gets sent back to Shopify to the customer. And that sort of whole process is automated. You don't have to do anything. Also, if it comes from eBay, it goes to Shopify, Shopify to Hollister gets sent to the customer. And when the parcel arrives, also they check it in, they open the box, they scan it, it gets booked in onto either straight up onto your Shopify store or onto your WooCommerce, whichever store. It automatically increases the inventory levels. And that whole process is fully automated as well. So you don't actually ever have to really look at your stock, except when you're doing adjustments, or maybe the returns do tend to throw a bit of a curveball in your systems. So that part is really nice. So you can imagine just you do your order, it arrives, they scan it in. If there's a short delivery, you know straight away. They've got scanners. Like most small businesses, just to get a scanner is a expensive thing to invest in. These guys have it. They just go boop boop. It's all done. Comes in, and that's a really nice feature. I really like that you don't have to worry about it. If you do need a stock count, you can do all of that. You can see your live stock levels there against your accounting system. You can do all your reconciliations. But long story short, for me, it's been a good experience. It's turning out profitable. There are fees involved, but for the benefits of not having to actually be in the same country and not actually having to do it myself, I get the economy of scale with regards to packaging material and postage options and courier rates. And overall, I really, really, really recommend this. I can't wait to try it in South Africa. I think Parcel Ninja is a great business. It gets a lot of good reviews and whatnot, so I really want to try something like that there and see how it goes. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, I'd like to do business tips and tricks and things that I've learned along the way while starting businesses, and I'd like to share them with you guys. So like and subscribe, and I'll check you guys next week.